It's the biggest. You know what I'm talking about? Hey. Yeah. She want the audio. She want the audio.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm your host, Izumi, and we are reporting live from Los Angeles, California, and we are on PIC TV Network on Roku TV. And if you're not tuning in right now, you better tune in because you do not want to miss the latest and hottest indie music videos, fashion, celebrity news, interviews, and so much more for you guys that we're going to bring a home for all indie artists and all genres of music. So we are the streets, we are the culture, and we are the content. Stay tuned, Roundtable TV.
Yo, what's up? This bruh man from the fifth floor. Yo, look at here. Y'all need to support the new Coaching World channel on PIC TV Network. It's all that. Go to www.watchpictv.com. That's PIC.TV.com. It's all that. So spread the word. You know, the new Coaches channel. That's PIC TV Network. www.watchpictv.com. You know, my dude, man, David Edwards is the president, all right, of the PIC TV Network. So let's support him. You know, PIC TV, all coaches need to be off up on this here channel. It's like money in the bank. Matter of fact, it's like Serb sandwiches in the bank. All the Serb sandwiches that you can eat. Watching PICTV.com for the coaches. Peace.
A lot of people ask me all the time, how did PIC TV Network get started? Well, I want to tell you, it was because of Brenda Ann Evans, my sister. She left this world and went to heaven. We had her service on September the 12th, 2020. But another blessing was born through PIC TV Network. And we're so happy again for her story that will always be told. We remember the wonderful smiles, her laughter, her kind heart. The PIC TV Network is dedicated to Brenda. It was birthed because of Brenda. The fire and zeal is Brenda. The light will shine because of my sister Brenda. So when you see the channels and programs on PIC TV Network, always remember how it got started. It started because of Brenda, my sister that I love forever. Gone but not.
Hi, how are you? This is Patty with the PIC TV Network. And I want to ask you a question. Do you believe in miracles? I do. And guess what? So does Project Smiles. We have created so many miracles last year and continue to create miracles as the season comes around with the holidays. We are asking you to please give a gift from the heart, only from the heart, and pay it forward with a miracle. I do want to share a testimony of my miracle. I received a car. I received a car. It was a gift. It was a great gift. It was so well received. And my friend it wasn't a family member, it was a friend who was so generous that gave it to me. She represents gratitude. She's a person of gratitude, and she reminds me to be grateful. She sees the good in paying it forward, and she also is always giving straight from her heart. So again, I just want to share that miracles happen every day, and you could be a part of that. You could not only be a receiver of a miracle like me, but also be a giver of a miracle as well as me. Here at the PIC TV Network, we're all about love and compassion and helping each other rise up. So again, Project Smiles for the PIC TV Network. Have an amazing day, everybody. God bless.
Hello, everybody. This is David Evans from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I want to thank you for your time, everybody. Listen, we're so happy today to have Hello America, our brand new hit show on the PIC TV Network. And my co-host, everybody loves Patty from New York, and everybody loves Michelle Cox all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. These are my co-hosts for the PIC TV Network. And they love having fun too. Hey, I'm so happy to have them back with me. Patty, how you doing in New York?
We're doing good. We're doing good here in New York. You know, September is a somber month here in New York. You know, it's been a minute, but we never forget that day on September 11th. You know, and it kind of like, you know, it's in the air, but at the same time, there are beautiful things that New York is known for, and one of those things is a Fashion Week. And I was there representing the PIC TV Network. Again, that was great. That was really fun and exciting. And yeah, you know. But back to 9/11, it was on a Sunday this time, so. You know, it was a quiet day, 21 years, and, you know, there was still a gathering. There's still a gathering. There's still, you know, a beautiful memorial that you can go visit. They're closed on Tuesdays, but they're open, you know, every other day. Not every other day, like every day other than Tuesday. And it's a place. I'm gonna see if I could screen share while we welcome Michelle in. But yeah, you know, it's always gonna be heavy on my heart. And I saw that you shared about the Pentagon also. I know when I went to go visit you, we went to the memorial site. So, you know, it's a somber day, and it's kind of like it's still in the air in September. You know, you just can't help to think of those and pay tribute even to the frontliners who are still alive, and even those that are gone. You know, it's just one of those days that you just don't forget.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. I was actually living in New Jersey when 9/11 hit. I was at a funeral, but I got to go and take generators and stuff down to the 9/11 site, and I saw all of the devastation. And from where I lived, you could actually see the buildings burning. And I remember being at the funeral, Mr. Hensley, and the priest said, "We think America is at war. The towers have gone down." And so it was already a somber day, and it just made it a lot worse.
Yeah, and you know, leading to that, Patty and Michelle, we're going to talk about today a topic on Hello America, and that is the world we know has changed. You know, today it's a different world, Patty. It's a different world, Michelle. And Patty, you can do that roll in too from 9/11. Send that up. Send that up, and we can talk about that for a minute. Go ahead, Patty.
Well, that right there is the beautiful memorial site. You know, it is a place that you could go and just take a moment. All the names are written down, and there's a museum as well, but that's out in the open, and that's a space that you just just take a moment of peace, a moment of remembrance, and a place to play tribute. I just wanted to share the image because it is beautiful what they did with it, and I'm glad that they kept a space there, because it really was something that really shouldn't have been tampered with. I'm glad that they left a space there that is sacred. I don't know what other way to call it. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but so you get the idea of my sentiments.
Yeah, that's amazing. And when you go there, you feel the presence there. That it will never be the same. You look at the towers there, and the world that we have known. I want to welcome our audience all over the world for our award-winning host, anchor host, Patty from New York, and also Michelle Cox from Atlanta, Georgia. These are award-winning, and we cover so many shows from uh, reconnecting the generation, AI. We talked about the food deserts. There's so many topics we covered. You guys, today we're talking about the world that we know has changed. I want to say to you, I'm from Washington, D.C. Michelle, is COVID gone? The COVID-19, 400 people per day. I know our president said it's over, and I love my president, but my son just caught it over the summer. My brother caught COVID. A couple of people still passed away, and they say 400 people per day still has it, and we're not even in the heart of the winter. And I don't ever want to think that there's profit over people. And then I'm gonna ask you a hard question, Michelle. That is, if we go back to where we were, can this world handle it? Everything was shut down. The schools, the government. Many people, Patty, were working from home. Everybody, the whole world was shut down. Patty and Michelle, with the whole world.
Zoom became a household name. Zoom became a household name.
Well, there's some good elements of this, and there's some very bad elements of this. So let's go over the numbers. Now, like you said, there are 400 plus people a day that are still catching COVID. I've got a friend that works with the CDC and one that's a nurse in a hospital. Cases are still coming in. Now, I love our president too, but I think it meant that with this new vaccine, we can see some things that will change the way we handle the COVID protocol. Is COVID over? No, we all know it's not over. When you're speaking, even when we speak here on our broadcast, sometimes we make an error. It was just an error. So don't let those things get to what the facts are. The facts are COVID is still around. Now, I just got the Omicron variant booster. So I've had 4 shots. I have been very blessed. I have not caught COVID. And because of my lungs and because I'm a breast cancer survivor and I have other pre-existing conditions, that would be detrimental to my health, which is why I've been trying to stay out of public places. But with the new shot, I'm actually venturing out, but not without a mask. I still wear my mask. I still sanitize my hand. I still wash my hands. And I have Lysol in my car. I spray the handles on gas pump. I spray the handles on doors. All these things to keep from getting these types of infections. And the other thing is, let's talk about COVID just for a second. And when we talk about when you get COVID, like you would get the flu, it gets down into your nasal passages and into your throat. Well, a lot of times when people have a cold, what do? They cough or they spit. Well, if somebody's with COVID is walking around and they spit and you walk through it and you have your shoes on when you come in the house, you bring it in the house with you. That's when they talk about it being aerolized. That's what's happening. That aerolization is happening because we're walking through it and we're not doing the things we need to do. That's why one of the reasons when I come in the house, I spray my shoes, I spray my clothes with Lysol to help mitigate my risk. And the other thing, if you think about what they're doing in China, because China has shut down, they shut down again because they had cases. They want 0 cases, but they also did other measures. They sanitized every sidewalk, every street. Also, it's $1,000 fine if you were to spit on a public sidewalk in China. They would arrest you. Those are the differences. I understand that we live in America and we love our freedoms. But my rights and my freedoms end where yours begin. I don't have the right to get you sick. I don't have the right to cause you to die. So yes, COVID is still very much alive. We're still very much dealing with it. But as long as you adhere to the protocols of safety, you can mitigate your risk. Now, I want to touch on one more thing with COVID. Former President Trump caught COVID. President Biden has had COVID. Vice President Kamala Harris, has had COVID. So yes, it's still active. The new Omicron variant is BA.5 and BA.4 are 3.5 times or 350% more communicable than your other variants. You can catch it faster. So no, it hasn't gone away. Yes, you can still catch it. And depending on if you have pre-existing conditions, you can still die from it. People over the age of 50, that includes me, need to make sure that they're taking care of their health. That's my 2 cents. And Dr. Evans, back to you.
Oh, you're on mute.
Patty and Michelle. That is, there's still people who haven't taken the shots. Patty, one of the sisters who were on our television network, she just had COVID last week. She said, I didn't take the shot. My heart goes out to many people, including my sister. We just talked about my sister passed away. And I want Michelle to come back and talk about how many friends passed away in the midst of COVID. We'll never forget them either, Patty. You know, and our heart still goes out, but there's still people who are older, who are younger, not wearing their masks, not washing their hands, not following protocol. And we're not even in the heart of the winter, Michelle. What about the flu shots? You know, we're not in the heart of the winter, Patty. Let's talk about that for a minute. Michelle, I want to go back to you and tell me how many friends that were passing away.
Well, just so you know, for the people that don't know me, I grew up in a place called Meridian, Mississippi. Mississippi had the largest number of COVID cases and the largest amount of deaths. I lost personally 54 people that I know succumbed to COVID. One of my good college buddies was the first person. He's not from Mississippi. He's from right here in Georgia. And he was a transplant recipient. He started working again because he really wanted to, he was on disability, but he wanted to go back to work because he wanted to help his wife. He just would always tell me how much, how hard she would work and how they would struggle. And so he started driving Lyft and Uber. Well, one of his passengers gave him COVID and he succumbed to COVID. He was one of the first cases. Then I have many friends that actually passed away from Mississippi from COVID. Our church community almost was decimated with COVID deaths. Every time my sister would call me, didn't even want to answer the phone because I knew she was calling me to tell me that someone else had passed away. Now, There are some people that are going to get COVID and they're not going to get sick. They're not going to have symptoms. But for the people like us that have pre-existing conditions, whether that's diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer of any type, you are at risk. These people can give you COVID and they can go about their merry way and it won't affect them. For the rest of us, we can go to the hospital and we can die. Now, everybody asks me, well, you got the vaccines, da 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 da. The vaccines keep you from severe disease. They keep you from going to the hospital. They keep you off the ventilator 94% of the time. Nothing's 100%, not even birth control. Those are the things that we have to remember. There's nothing 100%. But like one of the doctors I know, Dr. Russell, he said, to keep you from severe disease and death, this is why we vaccinate. Now, vaccines are good, but also know that we have mutations. Why do we have mutations? Because people won't follow the protocols. They won't mask, they won't get the shots, and this makes the virus stronger. It keeps coming back and coming back. Now, as we started to vaccinate more, we're mitigating our risk. The things that are going on is this virus is actually getting to be less severe. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't stay on top of the protocols. That's why when I talk to you about COVID-19, I'm here to give you the facts. Dr. Evans, back to you.
Patty, I want to say to you, you have a daughter, she's in school. One of our co-founders of Pick TV Network, Brother Campbell, his son had COVID 2 weeks ago, spread throughout the house. And when you say it's gone, Patty, talk to us a bit about that, Patty, and then tell us about why it's still important to take the shots, Patty.
Well, like Michelle said, it's not gone. It's not gone. And again, the thing about I'm going to talk not health here. I'm going to talk about the boosters and the vaccines, but I'm not going to talk about health here. I'm going to talk a little bit about politics. This has caused so much grief, not because of lives lost, which is the good reason to be grieving, but grief in disputes over this vaccine. Now, I'm going to publicly announce I was for the vaccine. Again, I'm trusting that you're going to save my life. Was I taking a chance? I guess so. We've heard those stories, Michelle, right? One in, I don't know how many were the statistics. One in out of many did have an adverse reaction to the vaccine, but that could happen with anything. I just felt like my probability was in my favor of taking the vaccine. And I am also a testimony, knock on wood, that I have not had suffered COVID yet. Knock on wood. Now, she got it. She's a kid. My other daughter who was in college, she got it again. Now my granddaughter, she was too young at the time to get the vaccine, but my daughter had gotten the vaccine and a booster, and yet she still got it. So again, controversy. I know people that got ultimatums in their jobs because they chose not to take the vaccine and they got terminated. Again, this is grief. They suffered severe hardship because of those consequences. And again, where's your priority? Like your health or your job? Those are kind of like, I mean, of course, your health always comes first, and they were concerned about, taking the vaccine because they might lose their health. But at the same time, you need to sustain with a job, and they have a family. So now you're again, this has gone cuckoo. The one thing I want to say about the Omicron from friends that are in the medical world, it's faster, and the antibodies are not working. So that's a thumbs down, because if you are exposed, you know that you did have prior. So yeah, back to you, Michelle.
Well, it's like anything else. you have to mitigate your risk. Like I told you, nothing's 100%. I got the Omicron vaccine. I got that 7 days ago. I went to my bestie. Her mom passed away. I went to her funeral. But what I did, because this is my home church, I Lysoled the sanctuary. I went in before the funeral with 2 cans, and I was like, because we have to do all these things. My church community is an older community. Mrs. Bohannon was 87 years old. So her friends were older. But trust me, I'm like, if anybody was coughing, I was moving, because I have a level of, I just don't want to catch this. I don't want to see what this disease is like. I have sarcoidosis. My lungs are scarred. My lungs look like burnt Rice Krispies. On the inside, I have all these little stones. So if I were to catch COVID, I have a 15% chance of surviving this disease.
Don't even talk like that.
Well,
Enough
no,
of that.
I'm telling you what the doctor said.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is factual information.
That's
I would
enough to
more
make
than
me
likely
wear a
have to
mask.
have a lung transplant
No,
to live.
that's enough for me to wear a mask. I'm telling you, that's no joke.
So,
I'm happy that you survived it.
well, I haven't had COVID. That's one of the reasons why I stayed at home. I was following the protocols.
You dodged it. You didn't survive it. You dodged it.
Absolutely. Like I told you, I take my Lysol everywhere. The lady at because I go to Sam's and Costco's to get my gas, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm just like, "I'm spraying this pump down. I'm spraying the handle." And even when I spray the handle, I still use either a paper towel or a glove that I throw away afterwards. I spray my shoes. I spray my clothes, because it helps to mitigate the risk. Is it foolproof? Nothing's foolproof. But for me, I know the vaccine has been working for me at this point. Now, if I catch it, I'll let everybody know. But for right now, I'm good.
And I will confess, I have gotten more relaxed. I don't want to. I'm gonna tell everybody right here publicly. I have relaxed. I have been going out to public places. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, try to stay a few feet away from me. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I'll prefer the outdoor seating, please. But nonetheless. But nonetheless, I'll be a liar if I say I'm not going out publicly. I did get a sense of chillaxness when everything started opening, and but again, at the same time, people are still getting it. People are still getting it. So it's kind of like, again, I'm trying to like figure out like what's the right choice. I sometimes don't even know myself.
Well, let's talk about, because you're part of the Rotary, right? Let's talk about polio. Polio has made a resurgence. Polio, something we knew we had eradicated. The Rotary Club was directly responsible for making sure that this disease had been eradicated. But because when people don't vaccinate for these diseases, they don't keep up with the protocols, these things come back. Now we got something new on the scene, and it's not new, but let's talk about monkeypox for just a second. Monkeypox came out in 1952. It's back. Why? Why is it back? Well, let's think about disease. Disease, like roaches and insects, will travel with you wherever you go. If you have someone from another country that comes here and they bring something, and we haven't stopped it at the borders, then it comes in. And depending on how fast it can spread, how easy it can spread, will depend on how we get it. Now, the past administration had a chance to do something about it, because when I broke my hip in 2019, I was in the hospital. That was December 2019. He had gotten a brief in November of 2019 telling him that something was going on in China. The World Health Organization had been reporting there is a problem. He said, and I quote, "It's a hoax. Miraculously, it's going to go away. The other thing he said was, this disease is going to wreck my presidency. And, the Democrats have bought it here as a conspiracy theory. But the truth is, if he had listened to the science when he got the information, and this is a fact, if he had listened to the science and he had kept the borders closed, he had closed down everything, just like we did with Ebola and N1H1, we wouldn't have suffered the catastrophic effects of 1 million United States fellow citizens dying. 1 million. We have the highest casualty rate in the global pandemic of any country. And it could have been less.
Prevented.
We could have had maybe 50,000 people die. And even 50,000 is a lot. But 1 million American citizens have died of COVID. That's what I want to give you. And people are still dying. Dr. Evans, back to you.
Folks, we're watching a special presentation on the PIC TV network. We see everybody's chatting coming in right now. It's called Hello America. And we cover subject. We just had another subject on with a young man who's in prison. And we talked about that. I'm going to ask Patty to talk about that. We'll come back in after this commercial. But the world has changed, folks. The world that we have known has changed, and it's changed forever. And Michelle is talking about some of the good things. I'm in Washington, D.C., and right behind me is the White House, and above us is the Capitol of the United States of America. And I'm like Patty. I've been out there. I've been at the baseball game with the Nats game last week. New York Fashion Week, you was up there. I was at the air show. So I think when we come back, I'm going to ask Michelle, do we still have to do the same things? Washing our hands, sanitizing, staying away. Again, we're getting ready to hit the winter months. Cold and flu season. Should we take the shot? I don't take the flu shot, Michelle, because the last time I took it 7 to 8 years ago, I was out for a week. But now I'm 60 years old. So, so I might have to change my mind. I'm trying to live to 100. So we're going to talk about that, folks. The world has changed. We're here at the PIC TV Network, special presentation with award-winning Patty from New York and award-winning Michelle Cox from Atlanta, Georgia. They're here, folks. We're going to be right back right after this special commercial. Don't go nowhere.
Every time a patient is diagnosed with colon cancer, the first question is, am I going to survive this? So let's take a moment and talk about the probability of cure in this disease. Using multi-modality treatment, meaning combination of surgery with and without radiation and chemotherapy, we have significantly improved the outcomes and survival of patients with colon cancer through all the stages from 1 to 4. Unfortunately, whether a patient will be cured or not is still determined at the stage they were diagnosed with. The more advanced the tumor, the lower the likelihood of a cure. A stage 1 tumor that has not even penetrated through the wall of the colon can expect it to be cured in 93% or more percent of the time. Once the tumor starts to grow through the wall, things become more complicated because it's not only the size of the tumor at that point, but also how aggressive it is, what the different biology is. And there's a lot of research in trying to determine today the risk groups and the genetic factors that determine how aggressive a tumor is. But for now, we have to go by what we have, and this is the size of the tumor and whether lymph nodes are involved or other organs are involved. So a stage 2 tumor, which would mean a tumor through the wall but not in the lymph nodes yet, can expect to be cured in anywhere between 75 to 85% of the time. And this is because there are small tumor cells that have already left that we might not see originally, so the tumor was a higher stage, or it's just a more aggressive tumor. In stage 3 disease, meaning the tumor has spread to the lymph nodes already, unfortunately these numbers drop significantly. Stage 3C, meaning more than 7 lymph nodes or very advanced primary tumor, the cure rates drop to 44% rate if you look at the patient populations. In stage 4 disease, the 5-year survival rate is quoted as around 8%, which means there is a subset that still might be cured using optimal treatment. All of these numbers are historical, and we hope that in 2013, combining chemotherapy in early stage disease, we might be able to achieve better results.
For an interactive tool to learn more about your colon cancer and your personalized treatment options, go to mycoloncancercoach.org.
Wow, that is amazing. How old is he?
It's like 10 months.
10 months, and he's got Pick TV at 10 months old. Look at that. That's our brand new member of the Pick TV network, folks. He is so happy.
He is a good happy baby.
Wow. Go Pick TV.
Hey everybody, we're right back here once again with our brand new show today with our award-winning host for the Pick TV network, Patty from New York, and Michelle Cox from Atlanta, Georgia. These are the co-hosts, award-winning co-hosts, and they will be in 2022 award-winning co-hosts once again. Folks, I want everybody to understand that Patty and Michelle Cox, they have a heart of love for people from all walks of life. We cover all subjects. But I want to talk about today, the world has changed. Michelle, I want to ask you a hard question, and that is, we're getting ready to go into the winter months, and Patty understands about, I'm tore up because since our break, the kids got shot down in Texas. Patty, I can't imagine. I don't know if we could even, that story was just so big to see those kids losing their lives like that. And then come right back, Patty, we see a shooting down in over the holidays on 4th of July down in Chicago. But we have to cover this for a second on Hello America. Patty, those kids down there, parents, and we do something on Hello America where we can adopt a family and give away a toy or something to some of those kids over the holidays. Patty, you have a daughter. I can't imagine, Patty, somebody, talk about how your heart feels, Patty, when you heard that incident.
It's heavy on the heart, it's heavy on the heart because it also happened back to back across America. It wasn't even just the school. It was, how about the supermarket upstate New York, Buffalo, New York, it's in Canada. And it was just like this chain of like really heinous acts, there's just no way to hear it. And, you see your love, it's again, and maybe because it's still September and, 9/11 just passed, but like The idea that, you see your loved one in the morning, a regular day, I'll see you after school, or I'll see you, when you get back from the grocery store, and then this, and then this, well, how do you go on from there? How do you go on from there? Again, we got to spread love. I do believe that those people that are causing these acts, because these are, 9/11 was terrorism, which also is in itself, those people need love, because that's not an act of kindness, but you have to start at home, right? You have to start at home, and I feel like if we could just raise awareness in spreading kindness, I feel like that's infectious too. We can do good. I really do, because if we just, we need hope. We need hope. Back to you, Michelle. What do you think?
Well, Patty, that's absolutely correct. Kindness is going to solve a lot of the problems that we have today. The other part of it is making sure that people have access to mental health care, because sometimes these issues are because people are sick. And we have never prioritized mental health care here in the United States. It's something that we have to look at. We have to look at bullying, because this is some of the effects, and domestic violence, because when a child is bullied or grows up in a domestic violence situation, they have the opportunity to become abusers and people that are domestic terrorists. So we're not talking about the people that are over in other countries. Right here, we develop domestic terrorists when we don't see about making sure our kids aren't bullied and making sure that people have the mental health care that they need. So in spreading kindness, it's going to help mitigate some of this. But the other one is awareness, situational awareness. Because sometimes if you smile at somebody that had a bad day, you could change the trajectory of a problem that might happen down the future. Your kind words to somebody in a playground that no one's playing with can have the ability to turn around a situation down the line where they might consider suicide or consider violence against someone because they feel powerless. So, Patty, your point about spreading kindness is very, very important. And that's one of the reasons that we do Project Smile. And the fact that we are doing this and sharing kindness, and we want to make sure that you follow us on this journey. It's so very important.
And you
Patty?
know what? You brought up a good point, Michelle. I love us. Because you brought up a good point too in awareness. Awareness is about education, resources. Where do you go when you need help? Where do you go when you need help? If you are in a domestic violence situation, whether you're the aggressor and you realize that things are going haywire, and you're trying to cover up the other person who is being the abused, where do you go? It's about education, it's about resources, it's about finding the answers on how to get help, because help is always out there, no matter what it is, whether it's health, whether it's finance, whether it's mental health. Help is out there. It's about spreading the love and spreading the knowledge. Back to you.
Patty, you're so right. Now, let's talk about some things in our community that we can do. Right now, we're in COVID. COVID is causing its own COVID psychosis. This is because so many people got locked down, and we're not used to being locked down. We as people need a social network. So because of this, you can take the time and see about somebody. Say hi. Hey, I haven't seen you walking around. Are you okay? Pick up the phone, call someone and say, I'm concerned about you. I haven't talked to you. These kind of things can help mitigate our risk and put us in the situational awareness where we're looking out. You're at church. You see somebody that's crying uncontrollably because something could have happened, and you're coming over and just saying, hey, what's wrong? Can I help you? Now, especially now when we talk about our children and talk about safety, we also have a problem with people kidnapping people right now. I don't know if you heard. People are putting fentanyl laced napkins on the doors of women. And if you touch these napkins, you can be overcome by this drug and be taken off. The other thing is, we have sick people that are attacking children, pedophiles. Again, situational awareness. That's why now, if you look out, more people are investing in cameras to catch these activities. But the other thing we need to do is that we need to enact a day where we're kind, and we should be praying for each other. I don't care what your religious beliefs are. I don't care if you're spiritual. If you just say, bless you, it's a prayer. I don't care what your theology is. That doesn't relegate the fact that if you're kind in the moment, you can help avoid a catastrophe. Patty, what do you think?
And you know what? Just think of what a smile can do. Just think of what a smile can do. There is somebody that I'm a big fan of, Stephen Kuhn. He co-wrote the book. You know him from Clubhouse, right? I'm from Breakfast with Champions. He's a moderator there. And
Yes.
he co-wrote the book. He's a veteran. He co-wrote the book. You know about his book, The Humble Alpha. I read it right there in the opening introduction. I don't even think it's chapter 1. I think it's like the introduction. And it starts off with that crazy. I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but it starts off with this on the fields of war. He's a soldier. This little girl who is in bad shape. Let's just put it that way. And they have an exchange, a very short exchange, but it was a smile. A smile was life changing. So again, how hard is it? It's actually harder. It actually takes more muscles, right? You would know this because you're like the fact machine.
It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. To smile, it only takes literally 13 muscles. To frown, it takes 33.
There you go. I knew you'd know that. So you know what? A smile. You could change somebody's life and you don't even know it.
Well, that's why we do Hello America. Hello America is our way of outreaching, and Project Smile is our way of giving back. And that time of year is coming around, because the other thing is we're in a situation where poverty, especially for seniors, is up. Poverty for seniors has risen 10% higher than it has been in years.
And
While
COVID
the
did
poverty
not help
level of
that.
children, right?
And COVID did not help that. I mean, how many people lost their jobs because everybody went virtual? I mean, virtual is great, but a lot of people did suffer the consequences of that. Again, nothing put a bigger smile on my face than when Dr. Evans was able to give a Christmas tree to,
Monique.
She had small kids, and they didn't have a Christmas. David with Project Smiles. I mean, oh my God, that warmed my heart. I mean, the spirit of Christmas was right there. Thanks to Project Smiles.
Yeah, you guys are givers. Patty supports this network. Michelle just gave another donation, and the sponsor, the young man the person we're trying to get out of from prison. I just want to, Patty, can you talk about that?
Brian Tate. Yeah, so Brian Tate, again, misconduct, just convoluted, wrongful imprisonment, 32 years. The former Congresswoman Beverly Perdue saw merit, but of course the officers changed, and then when the next officer came in, McCory, Patrick McCrory, he dismissed it and put it back at the bottom of the pile to go ahead and reapply again, and it's very upsetting. But the point is that we're not letting down, we're not stopping, and we're gonna keep going until justice is served. Kenneth Tate should be joining us in part 2. He was a testimony and he was in court every day for his cousin. This is wrongful on so many levels. Facts are in his favor. Facts, not opinion. Again, something's being covered up here, and it's time to bring the truth and justice for all. Back to you, Michelle.
Well, the one thing I know about this case, and as we had discussed it with Mrs. Marr, was the fact that the chain of custody of evidence was broken. That in itself should have had the case thrown out. Now, this man's DNA is not in there. We have misdoing by the FBI. So there's so many reasons why this man should be free. And as you said, Patty, we're going to keep advocating for his freedom. That is Brian Keith Tate. And he's incarcerated, has been for 32 years in the state of North Carolina. And to the governor of North Carolina, if you're hearing this, and to our representatives there, you need to.
And the testimonies, Michelle.
Absolutely.
Testimonies that verified that they were informants and that they were doing everything illegally. And again, just tossed out, not seen, just buried.
That's why I'm appealing to the governor directly. Sir, if you see this broadcast, and I'm going to make sure you see it because I'm going to send it to you, I want you to look inside your heart, because an innocent man is rotting in prison and you can do something about it. You have the power to look at this case and you see all the wrongdoings just because he is a man of color, it's because he's black, that he's being railroaded by the justice system. And that, sir, is on you. Dr. Evans?
Yeah, living in Washington, D.C., you guys, I've seen so many things happen over the history of my life. And for us to have a television network that reaches people from around the world, and to have countries watching this broadcast, and I know Michelle understand that different countries have different rules. And when you talk about PIC TV network, being able to broadcast this program in Brazil, France, Colombia, Mexico, Panama, Paris, Peru, Argentina, Egypt, Canada, Ireland, West Africa, United States, Australia, over and over, all over the world, with interpreters on Roku, it's big. And when we're hitting, trying to help people right here at home, is so important. Right above me is the president and the vice president. Whether you like them or not, they're in power of positions. And we voted them in, if you did. And right behind me is the White House. And I believe we do have a voice. And we can make a change, Patty. We can make
it. Dr. David, right above me, don't forget it. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But you know what? If you want to support us so we could keep spreading the word, because nobody's shutting us down. And that's what we're, you know what? CNN, Fox, guess what? PIC TV Network. PIC TV Network, right up there. See that barcode. Go ahead and support us in any way you can. Project Smiles, then keep the network going. We're doing good things here. And so again, check out that link right there above me. Back to you, Dr. David.
It's right above your head too, what I love about Patty in New York, for you guys who coming and watching the show right now, I'm Washington, D.C., Atlanta, New York is on. And I can't say thank you enough to our award-winning hosts on PIC TV Network. And I can remember so many times we cried on this broadcast because we had talked about so many topics, reconnecting the generations. We talked about AI. We talked about the food deserts. We talked about the kids that were shot down when that big, I think it was Future, when they had the big concert and they ran in there, Patty. Remember that, Patty? They ran and bombed them.
But don't forget,
Yeah.
Forget
And
about the good stuff too, Aretha Franklin.
yeah, we had we had some really good shows about that and Project Smiles, and it's amazing. In today's topic, we kind of like culminating some things on Hello America. There's a lot of people watching us right now, and guess what? If you want to have a topic, send it in, and we can cover that topic. Something going on. Something in Mississippi is going on. Michelle, can you talk about that for a minute?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
So, Jackson, Mississippi has a water crisis, but this isn't something new. This water crisis has been ongoing for over 50 years. And it's due to the fact that the poorest state in the Union, Mississippi, has a governor that said no, even though the federal government sent funds, they sent funds for the infrastructure, but they told the poorest city there that is majority Black that they had to match the funds. Well, you can't match funds you don't have. But why have to match the funds when the federal government has already sent the funds to be used? But no, they didn't rebuild the infrastructure. What they did was let it crumble. And this has been an ongoing saga for many, many, many years. But they'll come back and they'll blame the mayor when this is something that should have been going on for a long time before the current mayor got into office. But guess what? Even in this, there's a bright spot. Mr. Moses West, and I want you to look at that name, Moses West. He has AWG Consulting and Contracting LLC. AWG stands for Atmospheric Water Generator. He is actually producing water from the moisture or humidity in the air and helping people in Jackson get clean water. Now, you can go to his foundation, the Moses West Foundation, and donate if you want to help the people of Jackson, Mississippi. Also, people have been bringing water to Jackson. Right now, they are not under a boil advisory. Even though they're not under a boil advisory, the water still is not safe to drink. I had a friend down. I have people that live there. And the one lady, she put the dog's bowl down there with some of the water from the tap. The dog was like, no, not drinking that. To the governor of Mississippi, and I'm a former Mississippi resident. I live here in Georgia now. Shame on you. Shame on you, Governor Tate, because you can do better. Shame on you for blaming poor people for your misdeeds and for the previous administrations when you could have fixed this. When I attended Jackson State University, there was a problem. That was over 50 years. That was a long time ago, not quite 50 years. But living in Mississippi, this crisis has been going on for some time. And what happens is, just like with Flint, when it's poor and marginalized people, the government in certain states, especially poor states, have neglected their people. And that's what happened in Jackson, Mississippi. And I'm calling you out, Governor Tate, because I remember when your party was the party of integrity, and that's gone out of the window. All right, Dr. Evans, back to you.
I mean, Michelle, you put it down. You said it like it is, and somebody have to speak on behalf of the people. The water crisis is real. I'm in Washington, D.C., but to be down there boiling water, I can't imagine. We have one of our business managers down there, Lady of Wisdom, down in Mississippi, and others who are there, those who are close to that area, So I'm happy that you expressed your convictions and spoke the truth in love, because somebody else needs to do that. Somebody don't have a voice. Somebody don't have a television network reaching millions of people like we do on the PIC TV network. We can share this to you around the world, and we're going to send it to them. And remember, we're connected to Washington, D.C., and guess what? President, Vice President can get a copy too. Patty, I wanted to talk about when we come from this commercial break, You know, the seasons is about to change, and you did this commercial for Project Smiles, and I want to talk about how it has really touched my heart and touching the hearts of people around the world, because people are loving this commercial from Project Smiles. I love it. Everybody loves it. So we're going to look at this commercial, folks, and then we're going to come back and close out our segment today. You're watching the PIC TV Network special presentation today. This is Hello America, featured only on the PIC TV Network. We'll see you in 1 minute.
Hey everybody, get ready for Project Smiles. Hey everybody, get ready for Project Smiles. Smile down in front of us, we're gonna smile down in front of somebody else. I had to pull over and see this beautiful, beautiful sky view. I get amazed when I see beautiful sky views. I had to pull my truck over, pull my car over and say, man, I gotta see this. I gotta take a look at this. So I came over here to see the moon right there. See the moon popping up right there. That means something's about to happen. We're doing a 360 view of this. Again, I just came on top of this building. I pulled my truck right here. I said, I'm gonna come up here and just record some of this beautiful sky view. And look what a beautiful sky view this is. That's so magnificent. That's beautiful. That's God. That is so beautiful. And we wanted you to get ready. Get ready for Project Smiles. Beautiful, beautiful thing that we're going to be doing, helping kids and families during the holidays. Want to send a big shout out to Celeste, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Michelle Cox, Atlanta, Georgia, Patty, New York, Mel Beast, Colorado, giving love out to everybody. Miss Spinks, California, all the PIC TV Network, Dr. Sheila, McGrew, everybody, Lady Wisdom, PIC TV Network team is coming to the rescue, Project Smiles, and we need everybody to give and contribute. We're looking for 200 business leaders to give towards Project Smiles, so we can help people over the holidays to have, boom, some toys for the kids, boom, some gift cards, and a little bit of cash checks. We're gonna be doing it, folks, because you know what? Somebody bigger than me and you working to help us make Project Smile, make this Project Smile a reality. Everybody here, we're going to wrap up this session today. I want to thank my award-winning...
Before we wrap up, though, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute.
I'm waiting.
All right, today is National Voters Registration Day. Today is National Voters Registration Day. If you're not registered to vote, this is a good time to do it. You can do it online and then mail it in, or go take it to your register. Also, there's a project called 1 Million Men Vote. And This is for our brothers. A friend of mine's, Donald here in Atlanta, businessman, he told me about it. He sent me a little information, and it's called 1 Million Men Vote. And I'm hoping, let's see if I can bring that up there.
Yeah, I see it.
Right. I'm hoping that each and every one of you, knowing how people died to get you the right to vote, will make sure that you make a difference by going to register to vote and voting. Now, presidential elections, they do count, but your local elections, your local officials determine how you get funding for your cities, your counties, and your state. Don't forget that. You need to vote in every election. I'm Michelle, and Dr. Evans, back to you.
Thank you. Hey, everybody! Don't forget Project Smiles. Right beside you, Michelle, is
There you go. Right there is the QR code. And anybody want to help the kids and families during the holidays, we want to adopt a couple of families and give a gift card or give somebody, a cash app just to put a smile on their face. Somebody just text me right now, ask for a little bit of help during the holidays, and we're going to do whatever we can. No gift is too small or too large. Scan that QR code. Patty, what made you, that commercial is a 5-star commercial you did. Patty, you cannot duplicate that. That was one of those once in a lifetime moments, and it was on spot on. Talk about that, Patty.
Well,
Hey, talk about
just,
the car.
you
Talk
know,
about the car too. Talk about the
well, that's what miracles are about, right? They kind of just happen when you least expect it. You have to have hope. Again, I do want to say thank you to my friend who gave me the car. It was really just such a fun surprise. It was a miracle. It was really exciting, and again, it just reminded me of Project Smile because first of all, I had just talked to you, and second of all, when we saw the faces, it just reminded me of those gifts out live. Michelle, you were there a couple of times when we were giving out live. The donations were happening in live time. We had some guests come in and they were sharing about their special needs, I believe, son, and I don't know. It just kind of like resonated. It was kind of like the same feeling, like when we saw her face of being like, oh my gosh, my son's gonna have a Christmas tree, and when I received the car and then I was sharing Dr. Ava, it was just like, it's just in the spirit, this is authentic, this is real, but it happens, miracles do happen, and you have to talk about them because see right there, that I'm going to point that way right here. This is where miracles happen. But you have to talk about them. People have to hear about this because it gives them hope. It gives them hope that, you know what, you don't always see it. You don't always see it. It's great to plan, but you don't always see it. Sometimes a miracle is right around the corner. So I just had to share it. That's how it came out. But thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped somebody.
It was the best. It was one of the best commercials I have seen. It's a 5-star award commercial, Patty. When you just the way you coming on and talking, it's an award winning.
Hi, how are you? This is Patty with the PIC TV Network, and I want to ask you a question. Do you believe in miracles? I do. And guess what? So does Project Smiles. We have created so many miracles last year and continue to create miracles as the season comes around with the holidays. We are asking you to please give a gift from the heart, only from the heart, and pay it forward with a miracle. I do want to share a testimony of my miracle. I received a car. It was a gift. It was a great gift. It was so well received. And my friend, it wasn't a family member, it was a friend who was so generous that gave it to me. She represents gratitude. She's a person of gratitude, and she reminds me to be grateful. She sees the good in paying it forward, and she also is always giving straight from her heart. So again, I just want to share that miracles happen every day. And you could be a part of that. You could not only be a receiver of a miracle like me, but also be a giver of a miracle as well as me. Here at the PIC TV Network, we're all about love and compassion and helping each other rise up. So again, Project Smiles for the PIC TV Network. Have an amazing day, everybody. God bless.
That was amazing. That commercial is going to win on Black Friday, our anniversary. #1 commercial of 2022.
Thank you. Can't close out without saying congratulations to the award-winning nominated author. Michelle Cox. Also, congratulations to your awesomeness as well. I just love you guys.
And when we come back, Michelle, on our next set, we got to talk about your special act of human kindness. You adopt a person in your life to make their life better. I don't know if she told you, Patty, but she's adopted a person, a young man, to help him, young man, to life to be better.
Wow.
That's
Not
big.
surprised though, but wow.
Yes, I have a new 18-year-old son named Jake, and I'm happy. His father passed away, and his mom was legally blind, and she really couldn't care for him. DSS took him, put him in foster care, but now he's part of my permanent family, and God blessed me with a new son, and actually another grandson, because he calls me grandma. We go and see her, and so it's just a way to make sure that we continue to pay it forward. I got one more surprise for you guys. One more. I have been selected to participate in the Fab Over 40 contest. That's right.
Congratulations! All right. Again, not surprised.
Voting opens up September 26th. And I will, if you vote for me, I can, again, help the PIC TV network to keep our programming going. And I'm also going to build my house with it. So me and Jake have our own place instead of renting. So there's a lot of things that we're doing. I'll be in Las Vegas November 9th for the Distinguished Authors Guild Award. That will be live. You will get some of the recordings because I will be taking a crew out there, and we'll be doing some televising of the event, but it's going to be live, and we'll give you more information on that. But there are a lot of things, a lot of good things going on. My thing to you, and this is what I want everybody to take with them today as we wrap up. Number one, a smile doesn't cost you anything, and kindness will take you everywhere. I'm Michelle, the computer lady. This is my awesome co-host, the wonderful and the president of the PIC TV network, Dr. David Evans, who, without his vision and his dream, we wouldn't be here.
Hey, Patty, Patty, this show took off like a little rocket, right? It took off like a little rocket. You said, stay the course. And I want to thank our special guest who was on the last show with us. Can you just give a shout out to her again, Patty?
Yes, Doris Elaine Smar, Executive Director of the Equal Justice for All, and that's in North Carolina, Kings Mountain. And we're going to stand by her, and we'll be back with her and Brian Tate's cousin, Kenneth Tate, on part 2. Again, we want to raise awareness and bring justice. So, yeah, thanks for having her. It was an awesome interview.
Thank you, everybody, for watching PIC TV Network. Hello, America, with our co-host, #1, Patty from New York. She is our co-host for the PIC TV Network. Hello, America. New York is in the house. And also Atlanta, Georgia, with Michelle Cox, #1 award winners on the PIC TV Network show host. We see you guys next time. I'm David Evans, your president of PIC TV Network. God bless you. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Stay away. If you have to do that. Bye-bye.
Good night, America.
Good night.